Hey friend, in this video, I am doing a very important brush review. This is the new Prism brush by Princeton in their Aqua Elite series. And if you know anything about me, you know I've been using Princeton for over 12 years, maybe 13, 14 years. I've been using them since day one, since I started painting with watercolor, and I fell in love with them immediately. They're affordable. They use synthetic hair, so there's no, natural hair or animal cruelty or anything like that. But it's the best in my opinion. It's my favorite, I'll say, because, you can't just claim best, but it's my absolute favorite type of hair when it comes to watercolor. So today we're gonna be trying their brand new Prism style brush. And at first glance, it might kind of look like a round brush. It's got this wide belly, roundish belly, and then it comes to a really nice fine point. But the main difference is the shape of this ferrule here, the metal clampy part, is in the shape of a triangle. So it gives you this triangular shape at the base or belly of the brush, and then it comes to the point. So when I look at this type of brush and the type of hair that is in this brush is something that holds a lot of water and it holds a lot of pigment, so it lasts a lot longer. You don't have to constantly be dipping between a bunch of strokes because of the amount of water and pigment it holds. So with the Prism brush, I'm thinking leaves because the natural shape of this like triangular shape of the base of the brush would be perfect for leaves, and more flowers that are like pointy-ish, like dahlias, which is a great fall flower to practice. So I have a size 4, a size 6, and a size 12 in the Prism brush. I'm just gonna use the size 4 and 12. And on the left side of my watercolor sketchbook paper, I'm going to be practicing my dahlias and my leaves with it, just getting familiar. This is one of my first times using this brush. I think I've used it 2 other times before this. So I just want to like get used to how it works, how it bends, the flexibility, and I'll be commenting on everything as I go. I can just tell how slurpy it is. It's very slurpy. You can just feel the slurp in the brush. It's just gobbling up a ton of water. And I'll start with some permanent red light or scarlet lake, some brown like a burnt umber. Okay, so it's a little bit more soft. It's a little bit more bendy, moppy feeling, which means it's gonna hold and soak up a lot of that water. And we're just painting in using the tip of the brush and putting a different combination of pressure here and there. So sometimes just doing little to no pressure for a thin, skinny line, and then applying fatter pressure for more of that petal shape for this dahlia. I'm gonna come back over here. But it's the perfect shape for dahlia petals, for something that has more of that almond shape or a point to it. I'm gonna grab a secondary hue for my dahlia, just a little bit of a thicker, creamier consistency, see how that does. But yeah, I could just keep loading this flower up with color and water, and that amount of pigment that just came out of the brush is crazy because I've just been using this brush and not having to dip and reload as frequently. It also lifts color really nicely, so I'm using my paper towel and cleaning off the color in between dabs, or just like kind of blending and lifting. Because sometimes things come on a little too powerful, or you don't want hard lines, so you soak up these little areas that might turn into puddles and then blend it out. So now let's go for our leaf shapes. See how this does. I know it's going to be excellent. So we'll do a stem. So like a vertical hold on my size 4 brush, I'll do a shorter stem. Very nice. I like how thin it gets. I'm using little to no pressure. And then for the leaf, instead of the round brush, I go from the base of the leaf to the tip of the leaf. I'm just gonna try dragging it down from the tip to the base, because this is, like I said, that natural leaf shape. So, boop, very nice. Nice and easy leaf shape. And if obviously you go again twice, or you put more pressure on it, it has a nice belly, like soft belly that really opens up when you press. So we are into that. Okay, practice a couple more cuties. Let's try some Black-Eyed Susans. Let's mix it up. So permanent, what is this? Primary yellow. Just a touch of yellow ochre. So for these petals, I'm gonna treat it more like I would a round brush. And I'm gonna start at the center of the flower where the bulb would be. And I'm going to use the tip of the brush, so a vertical hold with my handle, the whole brush. Drag that out for a skinny stroke, and then press. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's nice. That's really nice. Lighten it a little bit, maybe do the opposite way for these little petals in the back. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. So thin, press, come back and do. And it's giving the bottom of the petal or the top, the bottom or the top? Which one is it, Jenna? The top of the petal, a little like jaggedy look. So it's not just so like, you know, smooth and perfect looking. Nice. Okay, we want more of this like skirty skirt. And then, so that's nice and easy and fun and cute and nice. Boom, little. This one is a bit more soft, a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not as snappy, it stays open, it's a little fluffier, which is great for when you're wanting to hold a lot of pigment and water, and when you have like a bit more of a loose look, a little bit of a stem there, and more leaves. Do not like the direction of that leaf, but you know, we're just practicing, it's fine, everything is fine. Okay, so we have a couple different options here. I like what it does with the dahlias better than the rounder shape petals. So to me, it's perfect for leaves. It's perfect for the pointy dahlia petals and things that don't have round tops, more point. So now I'm gonna move over here and do a floral arrangement painting. And I'm gonna do like a blurry background first with this size 12 Prism brush. And just because I know that this Aqua Elite series holds a lot of water and paint, I know I can get a ton of pigment and water down in just a couple of strokes, so I'm just gonna practice a little bit of that. I need it to be way more purple though. You just go off a feel. Okay, so now we're adding a little water. This is loaded. This is like really heavy in comparison. It's a very like loaded up brush, that's for sure. Okay, so that's really dark. I'm gonna spread it out with water now and just this is nice, nice and juicy. And anytime I start to see that dry texture, I just grab a tiny bit of water and carry that through. Very nice. So we have our background, and then we can add darker leaves with the same purpley gray color, and also the faded. Once this dries a little bit more, I'll add the yellow so that it doesn't blend as much. So just kidding. So we'll grab more of this color and start to sprinkle in the leaves. Just getting where I'll add darker leaves on top. There's more purple. So again, perfect, like plop it down leaf shape. Do darker purples, red purples with bluey purples, leaving white space or lighter space there for where I'm gonna place the fleur. So now we've got this fun, blurry, these are the yellow dahlias. I used the size 12 Prism brush for them, using the top of the petal for the top of the brush and plopping it down. Now I'm going to use the smaller size, the 4, in a thicker, dark brown purple. And I'm going to get this really, really creamy, thick consistency because obviously I'm doing all wet and wet right now. So if it's really watery, when I add it to the paper, it's just going to go zhuzh all over and take over my yellow. And I don't really want to wait around for it to dry. So I'm going to get this really thick so that it sticks a little bit better and doesn't spread as much. It still is going to blur, but that's okay. So we'll just do a tiny dot to start. That's fun. And I love how everything is just really soft right now. I'm going to use the same color and the tip of this brush to pull out some of these stems. And they don't need to go all the way down. They can just be like the essence of a stem is around here somewhere. Same color for more wet and wet. While we wait for everything to dry, kind of just pull out more of these like splatters that I did as maybe they're buds. Getting less blurry up here. So I'm wiping off any excess, which there's so much excess that comes off these brushes. It's crazy actually. So I'm swiping it off, getting it thinner. I can also use the bottom end of the brush, which I like to do sometimes for these thinner, crispier stems. Kind of like I would if I was adding a pencil or something like that. That's fun. And this brush, we're just using the shape of the brush. We don't have to put in too much effort into designing the shape or creating a complex shape with it. It's just a perfect shape for the leaf. Even on its side like this, instead of using it parallel to the leaf, I'm using it perpendicular, is a really nice leaf shape. Kind of a more organic looking leaf shape. Adding a little more purple. And I might just keep it blurry like this, but I could also, once it dries, I could go back in and add more contour, more crisp detail. All these lights and darks dancing together. That's fun. Very nice. So there you have it. I am, final consensus, a big fan of the Prism brush. It's definitely a fun brush to use for leaves. I loved how much water and pigment it holds. So doing a wet and wet style floral like I did over here is really easy, really fun and manageable with the Aqua Elite series because of how it's designed. It's made to hold lots of water and pigment. So this piece was super fun. I'll probably not use it for those rounder shaped petals because of the point and the shape of the brush, that it's in that triangle shape. So again, it's perfect for dahlias, perfect for leaves, and that more pointy shape.